Okay, cool.
I was shook. They mentioned the Overlook.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I was geeking out with that.
I was like, wait a minute. Did that happen?
I thought I was going crazy. I was like, the hotel was not named the Overlook, and I was like, no, yeah, it was. That was kind of
cool. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, and it was blown up by the caretaker.
And the caretaker was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was honestly my favorite part of the whole book. It really was.
I didn't know that he did that. Like he wrote some novels like within the same universe. I wonder if all of them are within the same universe or not. That was pretty cool. I liked that a lot too.
But the character mentioned for like the whole Overlook and all that stuff, it wasn't really someone mentioned in The Shining, right? Felt like a nobody.
What do you mean?
Because you know how she said, "Oh, this one guy, I already forgot his name," but he's like,
the guy.
Yeah, the guy that was mentioned about the whole Overlook thing, the artist, about this hotel.
Oh, the guy that she killed or something, right?
Yeah. He wasn't a.
I don't think he was a character in the book in The
Right?
Shining.
I feel like he just
because I don't remember there was.
Okay.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't have known unless you had read it. I don't know.
Put it on.
Because I feel like even watching the movie, I wouldn't have captured that.
I didn't know when I read it.
Oh yeah.
And like maybe because I have seen the movie, so like now that like the housekeeper going crazy, that makes sense. But I don't remember the name of the hotel or anything.
Yeah, which I feel like this book has a lot of references to things that I don't necessarily know. So I feel like I'm missing out on a lot. Like that thing that I looked it up. It's a weird name to say. The something complex. The
Scheherazade complex?
Yes. And it was something about the tale that I think you guys were talking about, the Arabian Nights or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and since I've never read it and for me it was a nothing. I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. I'll look it up later. And I looked it up, but I was like, oh, I feel like I'm not connected to it because I think
he was like the author was having the characters say that to be like a little sarcastic though.
Yeah. I don't know, but I feel like there's deeper stuff in this book that I just don't know about because I haven't read or, been introduced to these things.
Mm-hmm. It is a different era, that's true as well.
Yeah.
And I wonder if some of it is like Colorado things, like maybe you will know if you were from Colorado because these two books took place in Colorado.
That thing too, it didn't hit me that the setting is literally in the same state.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shoot, duh,
And it must have been close to wherever the fictional Overlook is too, so like in the same quadrant,
Yeah.
So that means it was nobody can travel up because of the snow.
Mm-hmm.
That's like this thing. Oh, she nearly fell over like twice.
That's a really similar theme. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because remember with the reason why they needed a caretaker at the Overlook was because of the snow. Like they couldn't leave.
That's so interesting that you say that because remember at the end of The Shining, like the guy came back to rescue supposedly, but in the snowmobile or whatever, and Paul needs someone to rescue him too, but will it actually happen for him? I felt really bad in the scene where the cop came and they mentioned how he looked from the window and he looked like an old man. I didn't even believe like that was him at first until I read it again. I'm like, oh no, like, he's been so traumatized that all his hair is white and he's probably aged like 30 years or something like that. That made me feel a lot of sympathy for him.
I've developed gray hairs in the last 4 years. And they're like pure white. They're not even gray.
Oh, that's funny. I thought he died when he was going through the whole pre-op. I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, pre-op? What do you mean pre-op? And I was like, oh
that was
my
so
goodness.
gnarly.
how many operations has this like lady done on this guy? Because this is the first one we're like listening about. But how
It was
many has
freaky.
he not told us? Was he not like awake for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. She's psycho.
I felt bad when, I mean, obviously with the first act scene, that was like really detailed, but I feel like the part about the thumb, it wasn't set out right. So then the first time I read it, I kind of skipped over it. I'm like, oh, your thumb is sore from typing or something. And then I was like,
Yeah,
wait a minute, she
yeah.
cut his thumb off too. I couldn't believe it.
Wait, she cut his thumb off? Did I miss
Yeah.
something?
Or did
No, no, yeah. Because he kept saying thumectomy, and I was like, wait, what?
She took a little piece of his thumb off, Crystal, one
Mhm.
of them, because it said he was watching her like do farm work outside or with the care for the animals outside or cut the grass or something, and she saw him, so he waved, but it said like he was waving with a hand that still had all 5 fingers or with a full thumb or something, and I'm like, wait a minute. So something else happened, and she punished him by taking a bit of his thumb off.
Okay, I think I missed that because I was like, what?
It was,
Well,
Author didn't say it like straight up though. He kind of like danced around it a little bit. It wasn't
Mhm.
as straight up as the X scene with the foot.
Well, he was like saying it happened, and then later they went back and he said this story. Like, I think he kind of blacked it out.
Mm-hmm. Imagine every time she comes in, you're just like, oh my gosh, does she have the needle? Like, what part is she gonna cut off next? I would just like, I can understand why his hair turned white.
I kind of felt bad for him when he was like, no, don't do it. Please, I won't move. Because I was listening, like I said. And I was like, oh my God. Like, that was the one moment where I'm like, you know what? Please don't kill him. I had forgotten everything else. And I was like, no. But
I felt bad. I didn't know she was gonna like. I know the axe implies cutting, but what I really thought she was gonna do was just break his bones again and make them like heal back super crooked, so he wouldn't be able to walk. And so that whole scene, I was like, oh my gosh. I was reading it at night. Eriko was like half asleep, and so I'm like this, and I'm like, okay, I have to take a little break, and I like start again. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
I think this part was scary.
Mhm.
Like, it was the only, well, maybe I don't know about the end, but so far this was the only part where I was like, oh shoot, like this is making me kind of comfortable,
Yeah.
kind of uncomfy. But honestly, just that section.
Very gruesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The part that got me the most was when he was trying to like move his body away, but then it said like he was just stretching out like the linen. I'm like, oh no, I had to put the book down for a second, and I hardly ever have to. So I was like, yep, that's gnarly.
I don't know I don't think I mentioned it last week because it was so like gruesome, but I was wondering if she was gonna like, like chop off his legs or something. But I didn't, if I thought she was gonna do it, I thought it was gonna be more like as his treatment, not as this weird like so you can't run away or
Wow.
like punishment. That made it even worse,
Yeah.
I thought if she did it, it might be like, okay, these legs will never work, so we'll just take them off or something.
More like a merciful thing.
Yeah, that sounds
Dang.
way nicer.
So do any of you think that he will really be able to get away at this point, given what's happened and the police officer dying too? I feel like they're gonna come looking for him, but I think she is clever enough to hide it. Or maybe it will be too late for both of them. Like maybe she will kill him and then herself, and therefore, like in a way, never be caught. I don't know.
Like, I was thinking I would have a better idea if I had read more Stephen King. I feel like writers sometimes have a pattern, and I don't know. I mean, I know what happened at the end of The Shining and the movie, and like it and stuff like that. But does he typically have like happy endings?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because I like in Doctor Sleep the same thing. It's like, oh, all the horrible, and then it's like a decent ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe he will survive, and maybe somehow she dies.
In another book that I read that he wrote, it's like the characters go through these intense traumas sometimes, but in going through this adult intense trauma, they're kind of like, when they come out of it, they're able to kind of like come to terms with a different trauma that happened to them in their childhood. That's kind of like a theme that I've seen. So I wonder if we're going to find out more about like his dad and mom maybe, and maybe even Annie's like parents, to see if they can come to terms with something that happened with them. And maybe even Annie. I wonder if more will be revealed about her, because clearly like something went wrong in her childhood to make her behave this way.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like he's not gonna make it through, but that's what I thought when they were doing the whole pre-op stuff, and then he survived, and I was like, oh, so you still want him alive? And I think at some point she said that she like loved him, like all parts of him. So I don't think she'll be able to kill him. So maybe.
I mean, she seems to like whenever something like she doesn't like something, like with the artist, like I mean, she was sleeping with him. Like it wasn't like he was like he lied about being an artist. Like she's like he was horrible. That she killed him. You know, I feel like she even says, like, "Oh, you're a liar. You're a liar." Like when she finds the knife, I feel like she's gonna find a little thing that like doesn't make like where, I guess, like quote, she can fall out of love or whatever.
That's the thing too. I feel like she's crazy enough to have that one split moment and be like, you know what, I hate you, pass, dead.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I also
what these babies did, that she murdered all these kids and like old people. Like what did they do?
That was a trip too, to find out more about like her serial killer past.
And how she keeps a scrapbook.
It's much easier to be a serial killer back then.
That makes sense. They didn't have all the technology that they have now.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt bad for him too when the keys kept coming off of the typewriter and she's like forcing him to write the book. I'm like, what letter? E, the most common vowel, you know, like imagine writing all those in.
When that happened, what was that word, or like what was that whole sentence? Because it said like mom, and then it was like I don't know, like HM.
There was a lot of blank ones, right? A lot of missing spaces. I was trying to figure it out, but I was also like half asleep, so I couldn't.
See, like I listened to the portion. I was like, what did they just say? And then I looked up in the book and I was like, oh. And I thought it said like mom and her. But I'm like, at some point, it's not just the E's missing.
I wonder too, like about how, I wonder why he keeps calling Annie the goddess when he's kind of like rambling and things like that. Because he wants to kill her, then he says, kill you, goddess. Is it just because she has all the power? So she's like omnipotent? I don't know.
Because she has all the power. But like, I don't know. I feel like goddess has a more positive connotation.
Yeah.
But we know she's not that great. I don't know.
The damage was done.
There was a part they talked about a centaur. Maybe I'm ahead. Did you guys read any of that?
I don't think so, not yet. What page is it on?
Oh, I don't know. It's because I was...
Oh, you're listening too. Sorry.
Yeah, I was listening to it and I was like, what? Are we going into fantasy right now?
Maybe do you think he's hallucinating half the time that we're reading, like in the second half of the book?
Was it when she was on the lawn? Or no?
Maybe.
Let me see if I can find it.
So the ending of this section was, I don't know if we're all on the same page, but it was basically she's like trying to shove him down, or she takes him down the cellar, right? You guys all read that part? Or no?
Affirmative.
Yeah, so that makes me like really not hopeful. Like I want to be hopeful, but I'm like, yeah, she took that cop out and then
The
was
cop seeing
putting
what
him
go
in the
inside.
cellar. Yeah.
I feel this is one of those things where you wonder, like sometimes in movies, like, oh, it can't get worse, but then it does.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the beginning, like starting off with drinking the soapy, dirty water from the bucket, like it's just gone so terribly downhill. So I wonder, like, if the rats are gonna come and try to eat him, or if he's gonna be left starving for a few days. I feel like what can happen now? Like he can die. That in a way might be the best thing because he won't have to be through this torture anymore. But then I'm like, okay, how could it be worse? I'm trying to think before I read to it, but it's hard to be that like to come up with like these really bad things that can happen to him, you know? My imagination can't do it. I felt really bad for him in that part.
Yeah, but he did say she's being sloppy. Like she left the blood under the mower and stuff. So I think that's the only saving grace is like kind of her being forgetful.
Someone else is going to come, but I feel like I hope they come in a group of two because I think that in a group of one, like the cop came and like he came, she has the advantage because she's so big and she does have like the guns now, 2 guns I think, and the axe. And at least now he knows that they know he's missing, so maybe he'll have hope and somehow be able to exert a final like effort to rescue himself.
Just try to preserve himself. It is crazy how he has the will to live still, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have been out day one. If
when he was over here begging for his life for the whole pre-op stuff, that's when I was like, you know what? I would have just rather died. Like, why go
I would have too.
all that torture?
Yes.
Like, maybe he does make it out alive at the end, but all that trauma. Oh,
it's like if he makes it out, you know, and he goes through like some intense therapy, like how do you start your life over how you were before? That happened in one of the other books too that I read. Like the lady went through like this intense experience, and then it talks about like her life after, and it's just like she wasn't the same ever again.
Yeah, that was
even just like not being able to walk. I mean,
yeah.
Could you imagine life without walking? Like,
yeah.
Do you think he would continue to write if he does make it out? Like, would he publish that book or rewrite it? Like, maybe he'll be like, at least I need to make a profit off of this trauma. I don't know, because he said it's the best one he had ever written. But at what cost to himself, you know?
I think he might embrace the sober lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. Don't drink and drive. That would probably be the biggest lesson from this book. and Annie type will get you.
You'll end up in the wrong hands, and then you'll freaking die and be tortured.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know. I think he's gonna die.
You think he's gonna die? Okay, who thinks he's gonna die? Who thinks he's gonna live? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up for life, thumbs down for death.
He laughs.
Oh,
I want him to live, but I think he'll probably die.
Got it.
I'm gonna say he dies.
I want him to die, but I think he's gonna
At
live.
least, oh my gosh. At least he'll die inside. Maybe his body will make it out, but I don't think he's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll die and someone finds the manuscript and that's how he continues to like live because his work gets published.
Yeah.
I just feel like all the like misery he's been through would be pointless if he didn't like live and then like produce this new book from it.
Mm-hmm.
Brushed.
I was looking at page 21 just now, and the first sentence mentions the furnace too. I wonder if that means he might like decide to burn something. I don't know. Maybe he'll burn the misery book, and she'll get so mad that they just have like this intense blowout. But how could he get out with all those locks too? So I think if he decides to use the furnace, then he might just decide to himself at that point before she comes back.
Good job. I feel a little like grossed out by everything, like a little apprehensive to read because, like, what if something worse happens? Like you said, the rats. And there's supposedly rats in there, and his mattress is just on the floor.
Mm-hmm. And if she leaves him a long time, he could get like sores, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he had sores at the beginning when he was in coma or whatever was happening to him. Forgot.
Oh yeah, I think she dressed his sores.
I wonder for how long Annie had not killed someone before coming across Paul too, because usually like things increase, at least from watching Criminal Minds and other murder books I've read, like people keep the trophies. She didn't seem to have that many trophies, but she did have the scrapbook. I feel like Paul is like, I feel like Annie's mind sometimes is like a child and Paul's like her toy and it's like her favorite toy. So that's why she's keeping him alive, because after that she doesn't really have anything, and her interest in the book too. But I think that if one of those things goes away, Paul or the book or both, like she's just gonna quickly like go downhill from there. And I'm very curious to see the movie now.
Yeah, I think he knows that because he's always like, I want to finish the book. Which, like, is true. He wants to finish, but he makes sure she knows it because he knows that's keeping him alive.
Yes. And I agree with you, Julie, that I think this book was like the most graphic and kind of like grossest one that I've read. And I've read a lot of horror books. So I was just like, oh, like I had to put it aside and then come back to it a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
So based off all the ones you've read, this is like not the worst, but this is pretty bad.
I think so, yeah. And I don't know if it's just because of the way it's like he can't hide from it and she's attacking him. Like, I don't know if that made it more suspenseful and more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones, it's been pretty gnarly too, but I feel like it hasn't been as bad as this one. Yeah.
So if I can get through this one, I'll be okay with others.
Yeah. I mean, this one was more graphic. I think The Shining was a tiny bit scarier in certain ways, but this one was just because it's more realistic. Mm-hmm. It's more, when it's more realistic, it's more frightening to make something like, oh, that could happen in true life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
She's intense.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the centaur thing. So either I listened ahead or I was dreaming about it and I created my
I think I would be scared to listen to this one.
Oh man. And then they do have like creepy music. It goes
that's the part I wouldn't like. It'd be like
yeah, not like super intense, but it's like old school, like scary music. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I had to switch to reading because it was creepy. Yeah.
I should have just read. Okay, so next week, Monday at 8, I will not fall asleep. The last section, we'll read
We're
it
meeting
together.
Monday next week too, so I can write it down.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Karina, you weren't here.
It's all good.
Yeah, we decided that the next 2 will be on Monday. So 1 today and then next.
All right, because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. So just finish it and then meet on Monday.
Are we picking? How are we doing the new books for next month? Because shouldn't we have brought one this month or this week?
Yes. Did you guys bring one this week?
No.
Do you guys have one in mind?
I brought one
I
from my
have.
shelf just because I saw the Instagram post.
Oh,
We were
yeah,
in
I should.
conversation, but I'm not super attached to it. It's just one that I think might be a good one for book club.
Okay.
I have one from Paula.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I was gonna just grab one from my bookshelf.
Romance, Judith. Romance.
I read a romance one, Judith. Every time I read romance, I think of you now.
Aww. What book was it? Was it good?
It was okay. It was like a good one to just be a filler and be light and fluffy, which is what I needed. It was called Arsenic and Adobo, and it was my first book with the main character being Filipina, and her family has like a Filipino restaurant, but someone dies in their restaurant, and supposedly they were poisoned, so she has to kind of figure out what's happening to save like her family's restaurant. But I like
What
it
is
because
that?
I learned how.
Nicholas
go ahead.
Sparks.
Ooh, Nicholas Sparks is always good.
But it doesn't that kind of sound like something he would write? It's like romance, but then someone dies.
Yeah. His are more emotional though. This one was pretty like comedic, even though it was about murder.
A lot of people are reading the book It Happened One Summer. Yeah, It Happened One Summer. It's very steamy, apparently. It's not my rec, but you can add it to the list if you want. Romance.
Well, let's go.
Okay, I'll pitch that one.
Okay.
I can't decide.
Paula's is a bit romance too, so I think it'll work.
Okay.
Mine is not.
Is it scary?
It's not scary. It's like Handmaid's Tale. Scary.
Ooh.
Well, how about you guys do the pitch? I'll see if I decide on what book. There's just so many that I don't know.
You want me to go?
Yeah. Here, let me write down the stuff. Okay.
Well, I can put it in the chat because this lady's last name called The Grace Year by Kim Leggett. Like I said, my friend read it. She really liked it. It reminded her of Handmaid's Tale. But she described it as these men basically think women are filled of witchcraft and that in order, and they're like, of course, men are afraid of it. And so they send girls out when they're 16 into the forest for a year to burn off all their magic and then come back. But it has a 4.15 on Goodreads, 50,000 reviews. And it says, no one speaks of the Grace Year. It's forbidden in Gardner County. And yeah, they don't talk about it. Like they go, it happens, and then they come back and no one talks about it. But they're out in the wilderness for just a year. And it says in Gardner County, girls are told that they have the power to lure grown men from their beds, to drive women mad with jealousy. They believe their skin emits a powerful aphrodisiac, the potent essence of youth of a girl on the edge of womanhood. That's why they're banished for their 16th year to release their magic into the wild so that they can return purified and ready for marriage. Wow. But not all of them will make it home alive. 16-year-old Tyranny James dreams of a better life, a society that doesn't pit friend against friend or woman against woman, but But as her own gray seer draws near, she quickly realizes that it's not just brutal elements they must fear. It's not even the poachers in the woods, men who are waiting for a chance to grab one of the girls in order to make a fortune on the black market. Their greatest threat may very well be each other. With sharp prose and gritty realism, the Gray Seer examines the complex and sometimes twisted relationship between girls, the women they eventually become, and the difficult decisions they make in between.
Wow.
It sounds like a women kill each other.
But it has a very pink cover. I don't know if you can see it at all.
Yeah, I see it.
That's kind of cute.
And then the other one, that romance one, is called It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey.
It happened.
And some girl I follow on Instagram read it in like a day.
Oh,
She liked it.
It's a series, right? I just Googled it. It's like the
Is
first
it?
series.
Okay.
I don't know how many there are in the series, but it looks funny.
oh!
Did you, Katie?
Someone said this romance was fucking perfection.
Oh,
Oh!
All I need.
Someone else said I would sell my soul to be spoiled by this bearded fisherman. What?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh.
Okay, I pick that one.
Is this the one that's steamy? Because someone said it was
yeah.
steamy.
It's steamy apparently, so
There's sizzling romance, steamy, pat melting love.
don't read it next to your mother or your grandma. Or even your boyfriend. Just put it aside.
Angst building, panty melting.
What?
Oh my gosh.
I've never heard that description before.
They're so intense. Oh my goodness. Inject this book into my veins, pure joy.
Oh la la.
That's hilarious. And yeah, someone else said 2 words, bearded fisherman.
That makes me think of like, what is that movie? The Poseidon movie or whatever.
Percy Jackson.
The one with that guy with like the eyebrow like scar. I never saw the movie, but I just feel like we need like a big thing about
Aquaman.
Aquaman, yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Like that, let's go.
That's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But I think it's a very lighthearted read, much different than the Gray Seer.
This year. Yeah, it does. It seems like it.
They both sound really good.
She's funny.
I can do my next.
Yeah, go.
All right, so I have this book called Pretty as a Picture by Elizabeth Little. I'll just read the back. And this one's kind of like a murder mystery, but I don't think as scary as this one. Marissa Dahl, a shy but successful film editor, travels to a small island off the coast of Delaware to work with the legendary and legendarily demanding director Tony Reese on a feature film with a familiar logline. Some girl dies. It's not much to go on, but the specifics don't concern Marissa. She'll spend her days in the editing room doing what she does best, turning pictures into stories. But she soon discovers that on this set, nothing is as it's supposed to be, or as it seems. Drawn into the investigation of the unsolved real-life murder that the movie talks about as its central subject, Marissa soon realizes that the killer may still be on the loose, and he might not be finished. A wickedly funny and thrilling behind-the-scenes whodunit, Pretty as a Picture is the latest page-turner from one of the most distinctive voices in crime fiction. So I think that will be interesting. And it has a 3.54 on Goodreads.
I like the cover.
Mhm.
I can put it in the chat too. And that concludes my pitch.
That's crazy. I'm reading the reviews for that one. It's a mystery.
I think it will be interesting to like learn about the job of a film editor through the story in this book, you know.
Yeah. Oh my, someone said it was so good. They were in Hawaii and they completely missed the first day there because they were reading.
That's shocking.
Huh. Most of the people are talking about her other book, Dear Daughter, about this author's book. The first one was Dear Daughter, and they were so excited. Is it a she? Yeah. That she
Yeah.
came out with this one, so they were like, I want to read it. But they're not really talking about this one. Why is that? Someone said it's a story of an unsolved murder, and it's funny. They're saying it's not really humor, it just carries throughout. That's an interesting way to describe it.
I'm gonna read more reviews too.
Yeah. So, Crystal, do you have one?
Oh,
No? Okay. And
I'll second all 3 books that have just been pitched.
You pitched the It Happened One Summer, remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, put that one in the chat. Okay. I have Paula's.
Okay.
It's called Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. And she also wrote Normal People. I don't know if you guys ever read that.
This one's familiar.
So the description is Alice, a novelist, meets Felix, who works in a warehouse, and asks him if he'd like to travel to Rome with her. In Dublin, her best friend Eileen is getting over a breakup and slips back into flirting with Simon, a man she has known since childhood. Alice, Felix, Eileen, and Simon are still young, but life is catching up with them. They desire each other, they delude each other, they get together, they break apart. They have sex, they worry about sex, they worry about their friendships and the world they live in. Are they standing in the last lighted room before darkness, bearing witness to something? Will they find a way to believe in a beautiful world?
It sounds very much like Normal People.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read Normal People, so I'm a bit confused by this description.
Hulu.
They rated it 3.87 and it has like 46,000 reviews on Goodreads.
Oh, someone said the first time I read this, I finished it in a sitting. Like, she's back. Wow, someone said, I think this is the author's best.
There's only 70 pages left in Misery.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
Might finish it tonight.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna see where the audiobook left me off because I don't know.
I'll be frightened. You're braver than I listening to the audiobook.
Do you guys want to vote through the what was that thing we did? The Google form?
We could do the Google form.
In case you want to look into the books more.
I'm also okay voting right now too.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to do.
What do you guys want to do since we're all here? I was gonna say aye, but that's not really a good choice. So how about we do should I do thumbs up and thumbs down? That was pretty cool. Thumbs up if you want to do the form. Thumbs down. Oh, I was like, what is that, Julie? It's the book.
I put it for you, Julie.
Oh.
Oh,
And
you already got it. Oh, thank you.
thumbs down. No. Let's do thumbs up if you want to vote now. Thumbs down if you want to do the form. I don't know how I feel about it.
Would anyone else join us? Paula would vote.
Yeah, that's the
Would
thing.
Rico or Dailene?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking of doing the form, just
Let me ask him.
so we can see if they'd be interested in doing it. I know Dailene said she wanted a break from this one because she was super busy, but maybe she's interested in continuing.
Maybe if they can see what we have to offer.
Yeah.
If it's good enough.
Rico says he
Yeah.
would also prefer to vote later. I am okay either way.
I think later's good.
Yeah, just so it gives other people the option, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we could try to recruit some people back.
Yeah.
Kind of like a smaller group.
Do the form.
Wasn't there someone else who would come, or was it just Dailene?
I think Claudia came mostly for Infinite Country because she was more interested in that one.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
I'm writing down the names of the books too so I could remember. Beautiful World.
So there's the Grace Year and the It Happened One Summer. Pretty as a Picture. Beautiful World, Where Are You? Should I throw one in there? No, I feel like I don't want to give too many options. Then you're like, you know?
It's harder to decide when there's more options, it's true.
Let's keep it as those four.
Judith, do you want to stay on after and I can show you how to do the Google form?
Sure, I'm down.
Sweet.
We can send in the form by tomorrow. By
We can make it right now. It won't take long.
Oh, we could do that too. And we can say by Wednesday. It's like a good little.
Noticing Amazon's been taking a really long time to like deliver, so I don't know
Oh,
if
really?
it's like
And people are starting to order stuff for Christmas. I feel like it's gonna just cause another big like backlog. You know?
because
So
I noticed it took me 2 weeks to get like a lamp.
Huh.
Like weeks when I was getting like Prime shipping.
Yeah, my friends were saying that too, that they're gonna start doing their Christmas shopping earlier because of delayed
Yes.
shipping dates and stuff like that. I was like, oh shoot, is this the year I'm gonna do it early? I don't know. We'll see.
I've been really liking my Kindle because then I can just download it and I don't have to wait. And I can make the font bigger for me too because I know I'm getting blind. But
My sister has one, and look at the cover that she got. Isn't that adorable?
So cute.
It's dead, but
where did I put mine? I want to show it to you now. And I've been liking the library books too. That's been super helpful. Mine has a little leather cover.
oh, you
Oh,
fancy?
nice.
Nice.
And then when I open it, it shows like the title or the cover page of what I'm
Is
reading.
that what you're reading?
Mhm.
I was
I
gonna
think-
pitch that.
I think you would like it, Judith.
I
mean,
have it, and I
I'm
started
only
it.
33% in. I can stop right now.
No, no, it's okay. It's okay.
It is a little bit romantical, so I think you'll like it. It's different. At first, I thought I didn't like it, but now I'm into it. I read quite a bit last night.
That's the one I kept staring at, but I pitched it twice already, and I was like, it didn't do good. I'll just read it on my own time, which I haven't. But
I think when you pitched it, I put it on my like library waiting list, and then I
Yeah.
finally got it. So I was like, oh, I'll start reading this
Oh,
one.
nice.
I've been doing side books, you guys.
Okay. So
It's hard, huh, to do a side book.
Yeah, so hard. My
I don't
friend
know
was
how
like,
I've been doing it.
I was also gonna pitch this one, but I don't know if you guys read it. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
I haven't read it.
I took off the cover. That's why I was like,
No, sounds. I think I heard that was good from my other book club.
oh, did I read it?
Disorganized. No, it's just we
Someone
can't
just
even
mentioned-
decide on a book. It's so
Mm.
disorganized. But someone threw that out and said that would be good.
Yeah, my friend was like, I think this would be perfect for you. I already forgot what it was about. Something. It was very like magical. But I was like, she said it was kind of slow in the beginning, and then towards the middle is when you get super into it and you can't put it down. And it was one of my side books, and I haven't gone back to it. It's tough. Eventually I'll get to it. So we can turn in the form by Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah. Are we doing first, second, third, or?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good option.
Did you want to put that one, Judith, so I can put the name and write down the name? The one
This
you had?
one?
Or are you just showing it to us?
I was just showing it to you guys.
Okay.
She's a little thick. She's 400 and some pages. I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah, it's 435.
This one's only 320 something, so it's nice and short.
Kind of like how we had a theme this month and Karina picked them all.
Thank you. That was my honor. I think for February we should do a romantical one.
Ooh.
We could let Judith pick all the options.
She's the romance lady.
All my romance books that I want to read. Oh, I do have a lot, and the thing is, I have like a shelf on my left, a shelf on my right, and then as I look over there, I have other books, and I was like, oh shoot, they're just everywhere. I need to organize them. Let's see. So we can do maybe like a theme for December, like a holiday thing.
Oh, like a Christmas or a grateful theme. Like learning something about life. I don't know. Family. I don't know.
We'll think about it.
We have time. We have 1 month.
I like how book club keeps evolving.
Yeah.
Okay. So the form right now, and then do Wednesday, meeting Monday. Okay, cool. Let's begin reading. Just kidding.
All right. Well, it's time for bed. But I'll see you ladies next week.
Yes.
Okay, good night.
Have a good week. Have a good night.
Bye.
Night.
Bye. Let me get all these books.
Judith, did you want to do it right now real quick? I already made a copy of it.
Yeah, we can do it.
So I'm going to, I'll share my screen.
I think I have to allow you to share your screen, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me see. Oh,
And then if you read me the names of the books too, it'll be faster.
How do I do this?
Go to participants, and then there's a little arrow by my name that says more, and it should say like make host or make co-host or something like that. You'll want to make me co-host, because if you make me host, I could like end the meeting and you might not want to do that.
It doesn't let me. I'll just do here, let me stop the recording.